Ladies and gentlemen, again, I do apologize for the technical difficulties. Like I said, we're trying to make sure everything is top-notch for you guys at all time. We're going to start right back over right now with our first GM pick of Double A. So again, Double A's first pick for the Tigers was Nurzia himself. Thoughts, process, what are you guys thinking about that first pick?
I think it's a foregone conclusion that Alizia is the best player in the league, right? So if you think of Double A taking the first pick and not taking Alizia, I really think him taking Noor is a statement to the rest of the league to say, hey, not only do I not want to play with Ali, but I want to play with Noor. And I think it also sets him up for the rest of the draft, which I'm sure we'll cover when it comes to outfield help and so on and so forth.
Really?
I agree. You know what? I also think Double A has won with Alizia 2 years ago. You want to spice it up. You want to play with something different. He hasn't played with Noor in this league yet. All right? They play together outside of this JMS league. They play outside. They work out together. So, you know what? They're becoming buds. And, let's see what they can do this year with that pairing.
Listen, so for someone who doesn't play in the league currently, but to just comment on the person himself, Nurzia is a pleasure to have on every single team, right? Seen him play cricket. I mean, if you can bat as well there, I'm sure you can bat on softball really well as well. Pick for the Eagles was Alizia, who you think is the number one top pick in the league. Comments?
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
We've already established that he's the best player in the league. We've already established that he's won multiple times. It was a no-brainer. If SK passed on that, his entire draft was done.
Fair enough.
I'll say it from now. It was done.
And you know what? The funny thing is, you're saying it's a no-brainer, but I heard as an insider, it took SK a while. I think he was just a little bit befuddled. He's confused.
Whoa. I gotta
He's
cut
like,
you off. There's only one insider. You can be the outsider for this one. There's only one insider.
I'm the East End insider.
There we go. We'll take that.
I'll also comment, SK is the only new captain that we do have this year for the 2026.
Yeah,
JMS
first time
right?
GM.
Let's call it first time jitters. We'll just chalk it up to that, if anything, right? Next up for the Lions, our guy, TZ, choosing Vic. What do you guys think? Vic is an older player, as we all know, right? But he shows up every single time, right? Also very respectful in the league. Everyone loves to play with him. But going as a third, do you think it was a mishap or he's placed where he needs to be placed?
I think in this situation, you know what? Dalib had an option. He could have taken Vic. He took Moose last year. I think I've told him in the past, you should take AR, And what he told me is I want to play with Vic. I want to do a little bit something different. But I don't see it as a mistake. It's a good pick overall. And you know what? Let's just see what goes in the draft.
I don't think you can go wrong with the pick. I do think that AR might have been a better option there, given the power bat that he brings. Vic hits for average. There's no denying that. But he doesn't hit for power like AR does. But something tells me that AR doesn't want to play in the outfield this year, and that influenced this pick of taking Vic.
All right. Well, going on, Mace for the Bucks chooses Mr. Imran Nasser, a.k.a. Moose. Now, I've seen Moose play. What a guy. I mean, and last year, too, he was a captain as well. Didn't have the greatest first start of the season, but his team definitely did show up for the playoffs. Moose is standing fair?
Yep. At that point, it just comes down to, do you want an outfielder in AR or an infielder in Moose? And you take what you have there. If Mace is obviously playing in the outfield, Moose would be the pick to go in the infield, being probably the next best shortstop available.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, you know what? First of all, I want to say Mace, great guy to play with. I think he's a great teammate, great leader. Played with him on that Salam Cup team, and he was phenomenal. So shout out to Mace. I think with him and Moose makes a great combo. I still think, you know what? It depends. He played with AR last year. If you're captaining and GMing multiple years, you want to try and play with different people. So I understand the pick here as well.
Understandably. And again, all-rounder too, right? Imran is a great leader when it comes to these type of things. And to your point, he's been in every aspect, let's say, in the league. Let's just say, on infield and outfield. Wolves, Virgi. Longest standing player for the Wolves too, from my understanding as well, right?
The most winningest Wolf, if that's even a word. You think of the Wolves and you think of Virgi.
Yeah,
there's nobody else there. Last year was weird to see him, one, in a different jersey, and he played with me. Yeah. But then two, just to see somebody else wearing the Wolves and Virgi not there. So
I think it's a coming of age for him. We'll call him Virgi GM of the Wolves, pack leader. How about that?
He is the Wolf pack leader. There's no denying.
And I think he was a little hurt that they still won with him, the regular season, and they made the finals. He's probably thinking, if you guys had me, we would have secured the chip.
Well, he's got the most in the league, right? Him, Nuds, and a couple others. So all tied for the most.
And how many is that for the most?
6, I think, or
5 or 6.
5 or 6 for sure.
And we've only played 10 years. This is year 11.
Yeah,
so
11, that's right. Well, him pick was Mr. AR himself.
No brainer. But I think what he said, there's a little bit of a rumor, let's say, that AR is going to play in the infield. He might play shortstop. My thing is, like, you know what? If you put them in the outfield, and we're going to get into it, who their next pick could possibly be. You put both of them in the outfield, stellar outfield already, add one more piece, add a shortstop, and they're golden, right? They can still experiment, have AR play shortstop, Virgin the outfield. They got options, and they're a later round pick. So they're going to pick a great bat to start off.
Now, moving on. Owls. Last year's reigning champion. Normally, it's no surprise the GM himself, Mustafa Kamani, picking Umair. Thoughts, just as a person who's played with Mustafa just coming off the bat?
I think for this one, Mustafa wanted the same kind of vibe he had last year. He just wants kind of like a respectable, chill team. It's not going to get too heated. Umair is definitely that guy. He's definitely chill, calm, collected all the time, but he's also the best bat. Like, hands down. What do you think, RC?
arguably, and there's maybe one person that you could put into the conversation of the best bat in JMS history, and Umair is one of them. There's only 2 people that I put on that list.
And who?
Umair and somebody that doesn't play in the league anymore, but probably his name was Asad. And there's no denying that those 2 were the best 2 bats that we ever had in JMS.
Okay.
This pick, though, I think was interesting because you could think, hypothetically, Umair comes back around and he could have been their next round pick, as opposed to, the captain who is so chill, cool, calm, collected. Wouldn't you need a little bit more leadership? Or maybe that's the style of leadership Kamani wants. I think it was another statement pick, just like Double A's pick earlier.
Okay. Moving on, Khizr Jamal, Falcons, picking up Minhal Jaffer, right? Minhal, big guy himself. He kind of is an all-rounder player. Anytime I've seen him, anytime I've come visit you guys watching the games, Minhal is just a pleasure to see. And from my understanding, a threat in some cases, as he was walked off a couple of times during the finals last year too, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit of a heated situation, but hey, strategy is there for a reason, guys. All right? Let's just chalk it up to that. Thoughts?
Run it back. That's the only thought. Run it back. They had an unbelievable year last year. I was in the GM room last year. I saw what they were building. We all laughed. We all said, what are you doing? We all questioned it. All year we were waiting for them to fall, and they didn't. So, proof is in the pudding. Run it back. Do it again.
I'll say, yeah, I agree. They're definitely running it back. Khizr, he has the top pick again. Obviously, this time, I think maybe that's why Kamani took Umair, because now you can't have Min and Umair batting back-to-back. I will say, you know what? They might tweak it, because you already have the left side of your infield protected. You have your shortstop in Min and Khizr playing 3 or maybe 2, whatever the case. Yeah. I think you can build your outfield here in your early round picks, all right? Build that outfield. You know you have the defense inside. Let's see what you can do with your next pick.
Okay. Now, let's just tune into the war room as the picks are trying to come in right now. You can see everyone diligently getting their picks done, right? What do you guys think this day with these angles that we're getting at this year?
Honestly, I love this kind of approach. It's a little bit different than we had last year. The captains were all, separated. They were on the second floor. And here, at least as a viewer, you can tune in. You can see what the process is. You can see guys eating food, having their dinner right in front of the camera. It's great.
We just got a cue that starting off with round 2, picks should be coming in the next 1 minute to 2 minutes. Let's talk about some rumors. How about that? Right? Have you guys heard anything? What's the whispers out there? What are the little birdies saying on the streets?
So I think me and you had a conversation, and obviously I have my thoughts, you have your thoughts, I think. But our consensus first overall pick was Ali Morali, a.k.a. Chima.
Foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking about some of the captain's picks for the GMs, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I think if you look at, like you just mentioned, Minhal and Khizr playing the left side of the infield or up the middle, right? Whether it be short and second or short and third. You do need somebody behind them. At the end of the day, we're playing slow pitch, right? So that ball is going to go into the outfield. And not only do you need a leader or a captain out there, but you do need a vacuum, right? You need somebody that is going to hold it down because you don't know what you're going to get, especially because they're not picking again for the next 14 picks, right? So you've got to make a pick now. So I think it's a foregone conclusion that they take Ali Morali, and we'll see when that pick comes in.
What do you think, Mujad?
You know what? Personally speaking, and again, this is just for preference in terms of what I know and who I know exactly. Again, I'm not one who plays in the league, not crazy sports analytics. I'm more of a vibe guy, right? And I'm not just saying this because he's one of my best friends, my brother from another mother, Taha Ali. I think he definitely should go top 10, if anything.
Stick to watching the game. We'll analyze it. Taha's good. I'll say it publicly. Taha's good. He's not going here. He's not going anywhere close to this pick. He'll be there later on, but no, this pick, vibes, maybe. Nowhere else in JMS is Taha going here.
Now, I think where you're going with is that outfield, what I've heard, especially from certain captains, is that outfield is a premium. So like you mentioned, you need certain guys that can lead the outfield, be a captain out there, be a vacuum. Some outfield players are certainly, they're going to be a premium. So you're going to see some guys get picked higher than they might be. But I'm also hearing the other side of it. There's power bats. That's the theme this year of the draft. What do you think, RC?
In years past, we've always said outfield. And I was sitting in the war room earlier before we got started, and there was a general consensus actually that there's about 29 outfielders available now. They're not all of the same caliber. Let's not deny that. But there's guys that can play multiple different positions. A guy like Husaladina can pitch. Can pitch and play in the outfield. I've heard rumors that SK might even go into the outfield this year, right? Which is somebody we know has a strong glove, is mobile. Can he track a ball? Can he catch a ball? Fly ball is different from running after that ball. So I think the premium this year, especially with having that 7th team now for the second year, it's got to be bats. And like Kamani taking Umair as his captain, I think shows that he's going for bats. He could care less about how many runs he gives up as long as he's outscoring everybody. I think that might be his strategy this year.
Call me a novice player, but in your honest opinion, what is the most crucial position on any team? Now, believe it or not, I am a SSAF softball champion back in high school. Believe it or not. First baseman. SSAF. That's Small School Athletic Federation.
There we
for
go.
You guys
Okay.
who don't know. So I do have some knowledge, maybe not the greatest, in softball. But you're looking at a star first baseman here. Now, from my understanding, my coach put me there. Number one, everyone knows I'm one of the loudest people you can ever have on the field.
What?
I'm one of the loudest people we've ever had, playing in the league or playing in the field or met in anyone in his life. Again, first baseman, loved it. Controlled the game, got to see how everything goes, wide angle for everything else. Crucially speaking, what's the most important position on field?
Well, I think if you're starting a team fresh, when it comes to softball, I believe it's between two positions, realistically. It's your shortstop position and it's your center fielder. So depending on how the GM and the captains have been, paired up or like who you have there, you got to look for that third piece. So like we're mentioning,
I'm gonna argue that with you actually, and yeah, I think that's like the general idea, right, on anything. But for the purposes of JMS and for the purpose of argument, how can you not say it's a pitcher? If you're walking players or feeding up meatballs, it is slow pitch softball, right? That being said, what does it hurt to have a pitcher that can hit the mat on command, knowing that then you're giving guys the opportunity to catch the ball and field and so on and so forth. So I would argue that, yes, I agree, but I think an argument can be made for a pitcher.
Fair enough. Well, guys, with that being said, we're going to get right to it. Starting of round 2, sponsor for round 2, Prime Spine Chiropractic Care. 400 Tansi, got your back, literally speaking. RC, who is our first pick?
We said it in our analysis or who we thought it was going to be. It's none other than Ali Marali. You've got Kizzer and Minhal manning that one side of the infield or up the middle, and now you've got that captain and that vacuum in center field to captain that outfield. I no-brainer pick.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? It wasn't going to be a surprise. There was rumors of like maybe a Nate coming up there as well, but it's going to be Chima. It was a foregone conclusion when like you knew that Kizzer had that first pick. You knew it was going to be Chima, automatic.
Listen, I love Chima so much. I've played football with him, and I was supposed to play JMS 1 year during the COVID years, and was technically drafted by Chima on the Owls at that time, from my recollection. And as soon as he picked me, he goes, we are going to do some damage. But I know Chima is always ready at every single moment. Who do we have next?
So there was rumors about everything, right? Everything came down to this pick. I think the rest of the draft follows this pick. Mustafa Kamani on the clock. He's got Umair. Now, who does he take, right? Does he take the vacuum center fielder? Kamani will more than likely play shortstop. So does he take that vacuum center fielder? Does he take, just another power bat, which is a definite option that he was thinking about? There's so many different ways that he could have gone here. And if anybody's ever spoke to Mustafa, he's never given you a straight answer in his life, right? He just says that there's 5 guys that he's thinking about. And yes, he very well could be. But which one? Give us some inclination. Well, we got the pick in. He ended up going with Hussein Bedruddin.
Okay.
You know what? I am a little shocked. I'm going to be honest.
A little?
Yeah, a little. I thought Hussein would go in this round for sure. All right? I knew he was going to be drafted probably by pick 5 in this round. But to go 2, hey, shout out to Hussein. Shout out to Mustafa for surprising us already with this, this pick is out of left field because where's Hussein going to play?
Well, so that's the thing. Now we know Umair can play in the outfield.
Yeah.
But we also know that he can hold down third base for sure, right? They're not going to waste him at first base. I don't think they need to. But now if you've got Hussein Bedruddin playing second, Kamani at short, and Umair playing third, you've got 4 spots in the outfield that you need to fill if you don't throw Umair out there.
Yeah.
And I think Umair prefers to play in the infield as well. He's got a rock solid arm. So I echo your thoughts. Maybe they see him as a potential rover outfielder, but from a bat perspective, great pick.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Probably one of the top 3 bats on the table right now, right? But yeah, from a defensive perspective, I'm very curious to see what they end up doing there.
Well, because you know what I've heard, and I've seen him play in different tournaments. So I played in this Thanksgiving tournament with him. I saw him at Salam Cup. He's playing shortstop for the Monks team that he has. All right.
Okay.
So I know Hussein kind of wants to play short. I think they've had that conversation probably on the back, like he might play 3 or 2. You could throw. I've seen Umair also play left field and right field.
Yeah.
So they have options, and I know Mustafa is creative. He'll make it work as long as he gets everyone to buy it. Hussein has raw power, and he's a lefty. We don't have too many lefties across the league. He can smoke the ball.
Definitely.
He definitely was a key player during the Salam Cup tournament, from my understanding as well, with injuries prone as well, coming in.
Yeah.
RC, who do we got next? Let's keep it going.
So we were talking about surprises. Okay. Well, just up until yesterday, I think this guy was in a boot. And he is forever known as Mr. 1A. It is Ali Manik. Imran Virji and Ali Reza Nasser from the Wolves take Ali Manik. Again, to me, I thought this was a no-brainer pick. But let me give you some inside information. So it's Good Friday. It's Friday. I went to Jummah today. After Jummah, there was a maid. We went through the funeral. Then everybody cleared out because the funeral was there. And lo and behold, do I not see Ali Manik without his boot doing sprints in the mosque in front of a couple of the GMs. I'm not lying. Those GMs are sitting in that war room, and they will say they saw him running back and forth in mosque in socks on the carpet. So, maybe he was trying to build his draft stock there, and it was awesome.
So the funny thing you say that, because I was also at mosque during Ramadan, and I see him walk in with the boot. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Like JMS is coming up.
Okay, so did he want attention or did he actually get hurt?
No, he's he's just walking in and it's at the back of the entrance, so there's no attention there. He's just being honest. He's like, I got hurt playing pickleball. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, man.
You got hurt playing pickleball or going for a pickle?
I'll believe Manik. He's playing pickleball.
Listen, if you know anything about Manik, you know he likes to eat.
Listen,
it's definite.
I definitely did see him on pickleball. Not the most impressive thing, and actually, you should definitely stick to softball. But even sticking to softball, Ali Manik is the only person who every season has a comeback season, and I'm even quite shocked that he's picked this high.
So yes and no, right? If we think about the most important positions, if AR is playing shortstop, if Imran Virji is playing center field, those are the two things that you said. Now you bring in Ali Manik. Worst case scenario, he plays third base or he plays first base because he can't run or whatever it might be, but you've got his bat. He can still swing the bat, and it's very potent. In the event, it's the best case scenario. Now you move AR and Imran Virji into the outfield. What's dropping? And you have Manik at short. Again, arguably one of the best shortstops that's ever played in this league. So I don't think it was a bad pick by any stretch. I think it was a no-brainer because the ceiling there is no ceiling, right? And the floor, like I just said, fine, you throw him at third base or at first base, but you have his bat, which is what you need in a lineup like this for protection. So I like the pick.
No, I love the pick because you're saying they have options. They have so many combinations. Even Virgi could play short if he wanted to. They have. I always say softball season is really long, and it really starts when you get to August. So they can tinker.
Exactly.
I think what we also heard, Maya's going to miss some weeks. So they're going to have to put someone at short if he can't be there, right? But you're right. Best bat probably available at this point.
All right, moving on.
So Bucks last year, Mason and AR were together. They had a very successful season, just like the Wolves did. This year, Mason flips it and he takes Moose instead, right? As his captain.
Okay.
And maybe he's trying to run it back. He went with AK, Abbas Kermali.
Okay.
Run it back. I guess it's the theme for Kizzer and for Mace.
Yeah, I think, you know what? This is also, again, best bat available. Because you know what? AK was on a heater. Everything health-wise, Hamda is doing much better. He looks great. See him right now. Thank you for having us at your house, AK. It's beautiful. He looks great. All right? And if it ain't broke, I think they would have had a better chance, you know. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Run it back.
Listen, I call AK Mr. Immortal himself. I heard his age is redacted by so many documents because he's actually coached half the players in this league, and believe you, there's a ton of oldies in this league as well.
If you're gonna call him Mr. Immortal, we need to see him do the Hulk Hogan ripping of the shirt, because he is the real immortal one. In years past, I would have said this was early. Last year, I think AK turned a corner, and was phenomenal. I think, you know, he had a setback health wise. He came back and didn't lose a step. You know, like he maybe not running as fast, rightfully so, but his bat was still on fire. So great pick here. I like it. Kudos.
Healthy
Clock. It was Talib and Vic that were picking. This pick I think is because of what Kamani did earlier. Kamani taking Hussein Bedreddine earlier, I think caused this guy to fall to where he did. Nate Mohammed. You know what? We were all contemplating before the draft who was Kamani going to take, right? One of 5 guys, and we'll give you a straight answer. Nate was in every one of those conversations. Kamani left him, and he fell to a team that needed a shortstop, and Nate is a hybrid. He's the guy that can play in the outfield anywhere, and he can play at shortstop. So I think good pick.
Yeah. Now, I'll say we called him Nate Dogg when we won 2 years ago, all right? So Nate Dogg is that guy. He was batting second for our team. He could hit triple down the right field side. He could, you know, run for extra bags. We used to send him to run like crazy. He played short for us when we were missing our shortstop. He played in the outfield, something we needed. Nate, great guy, great teammate as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I like this pick for Talib and Vic. He's going to be great in that team.
I echo that. Do you know anything about Nate Dogg?
Listen, I've seen Nate play, right? Pleasure to play, pleasure to see. Again, he's not crazy loud, not necessarily quiet. Good support player to have on any team.
But now, just because of what you just said, Vic is exactly that as well. He's not loud. He's probably the best